Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of what is possibly my favourite management game ever. This is Pitwall. This is a Formula 1 or a racing car management game, and I'm a massive fan of Formula 1 and motor racing in general. Obviously this game, because it's not affiliated with Formula 1 in any way, it doesn't use the word Formula 1. It just says Grand Prix manager, but essentially it's Formula 1. But you know, you could say it's any old racing competition. It's unique in itself. The reason I want to show you about this is because it's not that well known. I love this game to pieces. I used to play this game every day for about 2.5 years, a few years back, and then it crashed. What happened is the chap who makes this game is does it on his own in his spare time. It's his baby, it's his child, and it had a big following. It was a big-ish following. It was doing really well. Lots of people like myself playing it. I actually was an admin for a while as well on it, and then he had a massive server crash, and he lost all his data. And because he was planning to rebuild the whole site from the ground up and redo the development and everything, essentially decided he would use that opportunity to do that. Then he intended it to be offline for about a year, and 3.5 years later it's back. So it's been a long wait for me, so I'm excited it's back again. So this is it. I'll log in, obviously enter your email and everything, and log in, and it's browser based. So I mean, if anyone plays like Football Manager or Cricket Manager or something like that, it's going to be the similar things, except it's a Grand Prix racing team. So what you've got is you've got your team. So you've got to manage the finances of the team, generate sponsors, hire up sponsors, get money coming in. These are my finances at the moment, which are terrible because I've got no sponsors. It's just started a new week, so it's all zero at the moment. But my bank account's pretty bad. It's about -3 million. And then you develop your car, you create your chassis, and you hire yourself a designer. You decide how you want to approach your design of your car, whether you focus on losing weight, aerodynamic grip, blah blah blah. So you do all that, you develop a chassis, and then you upgrade it, and you put new parts on it. So we've got a gearbox here, fuel tank, suspension, etc, etc. So the key thing is to update and improve your car. And in addition to that, you then got to hire drivers to drive your car. So these are my drivers. You can have 2 main drivers and a test driver, and then you can have youth drivers as well. I've only got a handful of them. And then you've got to produce parts to put on your car. You've got to then do suppliers. So you need an engine supplier. You've got tyres, fuel. Everything costs money. Everything needs to be negotiated. It is very, very realistic and does take a bit of time. The main thing though with this game, and this is what's really good about it, when you first play it, you're gonna be quite easily spend about 5 or 6 hours in one straight setting, because to found a new team, you do have a bit of a learning curve, a lot of things to look at, because essentially when you found a new team, you've got to get yourself all your staff members, you've got to get yourself some drivers, you've got to get your sponsors, or at least start the process of getting sponsors, create some parts for your car, create your chassis, and then you're ready to go racing. So you can easily spend quite a bit of time doing that, but essentially once you've done that main chunk, you only actually really need to spend about 10 minutes a day, not even that. Sometimes only 10 or 20 minutes a week. So although this is a game, you know, for those sort of people that want to play a game and immediately race and immediately do this and immediately do that, this isn't the game for you. This is quite a realistic game, and it is based on real time. So you've got your if I go to the calendar, this is the season planner. There's 13 weeks in a season, and they're based on, I think, GMT time, so UK time, Zulu time as it was, So week 1, it's an off-season week. So every day of the week it's testing. So you can test and test and test to your heart's content, and obviously testing improves your car's reliability and performance and everything else. It also lets you to test out how good your drivers are and all sorts. So week 1 and 2 is testing. Then week 3, which is the week we've just had on the first season, week 3, unfortunately I missed out on the first 2 weeks, so I'm massively behind in terms of everything. But week 3 then it changes to a normal race week. So the first 2 days there's no testing, Monday and Tuesday no testing, but you have the youth race and the feeder races, so your development driver races, which you can look at if you can be bothered, or they just happen, that's all. Then Wednesday and Thursday you've got testing again, so like the other weeks, but this testing is a little bit different. Instead of it improving your car and your reliability and everything else, this is all about getting your setup for the race and qualification. I.e. setup. Anyone who knows about Formula 1 or racing teams like that, you're setting up your car, you're doing what your perfect settings are for that track, suspension and wing settings and things like that. So that all improves that. So the more money you spend on testing, the better your car is going to be in the race, depending on how good your drivers are at setting up the car. Then Friday and Saturday is qualification. So this is now at any time during the whole day of Friday and the whole day of Saturday, you can send your main drivers out to qualify for the race, set their best lap times, and then you're ready for the race on Sunday, which, depending on where the race is in the world, i.e. Australia, it's 9 o'clock in the morning for me. If it was in the UK, it'd probably be at midday or 1 o'clock, something like that. And also depends on what division you're in, what time the race is. So then on Sunday the race occurs. Now the good thing about this game is you don't need to be present when the race happens. All you do is, once you've qualified, you then do your race strategy. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this, because we're not in a racing week now. If I go back to week 3, right? Okay, it doesn't show it. Race week 3. No, it just shows the highlights. Oh yeah, here we go, down here. So here we go. This is one of my drivers for last week's race. So what I did, I set the obviously I worked out how much fuel I needed for the first stint. I gave him, because it's a brand new season, everyone's got pretty bad cars because we're all in the same boat. I wanted to take it easy and just finish the race, and luckily for me there was only 3 other teams in my division, so all I needed to do was finish the race and I'd get points, which is good. So I didn't have to worry too much. So I just wanted to make sure I got home. Incidentally, I won the race, but that's beside the point. So I put on take it easy. You've got, I can't change it now, but you've got save the car as the lowest settings, which literally just means you just go around the track and your focus is to finish the race, and just that's it. You've got take it easy, which is the next step up. You're going to drive fast, but don't go, just take it easy. Then you've got normal, which is just drive normally. Then you've got push it, which is, well, push it, drive normally, but then a little bit more. And then I think you've got do or die is the top one, which is just go for it, just fucking go for it. So they're the driver orders, and you can see each lap you've got the weather report and the conditions and what you want your driver to do in that race. So I could change it for certain laps if you could think that far ahead. You can also watch the race live and fiddle around with it when the race is live, if you so wish to. But I prefer to just stick with the strategy and see how it goes. So, and then I've got, I think it was, I went for a 4-stop on lap 13. I had him come in. He came in, I changed his tyres and put in more fuel. And, oh, I've just noticed that I had his engine management at 100. I didn't change that. I meant to have it at 70% all the way, because again you've got 70% to 100% of your race management, your engine management, which basically affects the wear on all the parts on your car. So obviously at this stage I've got no sponsors or much money, so I don't really want to be replacing my gearbox every single race, because that's going to be an expensive bit of kit to keep making. So anyway, that was the result of my first race. I won it. My other driver had a gearbox failure. Yay! So I have to replace one gearbox. And there was only 2 other teams racing in this race. So yeah, so I won the race, but I didn't get the maximum number of points. But yeah, but essentially I'm in division 3.10. I only chose that division because my buddy in animal racing was in there and I got to choose what division. This division here, look, has a lot more players, a lot more cars in. It's a full division practically. As I said though, this is the first season, so there's going to be a little bit of jiggledy-pokery as the divisions get filled up with people that are sort of thinking of playing but then don't end up playing, so then they're going to at the end of the season get removed and new players be put in. So that's the essential race. But then this game is all about, it's like Formula 1. So you've got your staff. I'm not going to go into great details how to play this game because I'll be honest, I don't ultimately know at this stage because I'm new. Although I played a lot of the old game, this one has changed dramatically. But just to let you sort of know, these are my main staff members. So I've got a head commercial manager, so he's the guy in charge of getting sponsors. I've got my head designer who designs my car. I've also got a scout and a coach here. I'm not quite sure what the coach does. I'm pretty sure he improves your drivers and stuff like that in training. Or he does my youth drivers. I think he does my youth drivers actually. This guy, my scout will scout and tell me how good my drivers are and other staff members are. You get the basic bits that you know about, staff experience, but I don't think they're the actual stats for their actual ability. They're all hidden, which is a little bit annoying because I like the old one where I could see everything. But they've, Frank, the guy's gone down the route of making everything hidden now. So we've got to find it all out or judge by results sort of thing. So anyway, these are my roles. And then I've got how much focus each departments go on. So at the moment I've got maximum focus on commercial because I'm desperate for sponsors. I'm running out of money. I need to sort that out now. If I was going to be designing new parts for my car and developing my chassis, I'd have my designers up a bit more. I've got it on 10% on mechanics simply because I had a race at the weekend and I want my mechanics to actually do a pit stop in a fairly reasonable time. In the old game I left it on 10% all the time if there was a race weekend, and that worked out pretty okay. But I'm not sure it's going to be quite the same in this game. I think I'm going to have to up that because my pit stops were pretty slow in the race. Anyway, so that's the sort of overall, and then you've got to hire other staff members as well. At the moment, again, I've gone for commercial, so I've got 100. I've got room for 100 staff members. I've hired 90 commercial managers, and I've got 10 mechanics. So, and then you've got here what their cost is. So that's costing me for each one of them £2.5 grand a week. And if I was to choose to fire them to make room for other people, I would have to spend 5 grand firing them. So don't make the mistake in hiring the wrong people, otherwise you'll just be firing them and pouring money down the drain. Same with designers. I've sacked all my designers solely because I need to focus on that at the moment. So that's your staff. Drivers again. Here are my drivers. So if I go on this guy, he seems to be my better driver of the two. You've got his basic abilities over here, his age, whether he's male, when his birthday is in the week in relation to the Pitwall week. His morale, so he just won a race, so he should bloody be happy. Motivation, that's pretty good, pleased with that. Loyalty, unsure, that's sort of a middle loyalty, that's how likely he is to stay with your team or to negotiate with other teams. Professionalism, I don't really care too much about that. Obviously the better he is, the better. Now this is a new stat, intelligence. I don't quite know how that affects, but apparently this guy is mildly impaired. Charisma, this is really important. The more charismatic your drivers are, the better interest sponsors have in sponsoring your team, because you've got a real, superstar driver who's, press savvy and people want to sponsor. And then ambition's ambition, and this guy's obviously terrible for that. And then over here you've got the hidden stats, which are the most important ones. So obviously he's not a designer or a commercial manager, so none of these matter. This is what matters: how fast he is, how good he is at going around corners, his wet weather ability, technical. I don't know what quite that means. I probably think that he's going to be set up of car. Starts, how good he is at doing starts. In the old Pitwall, I had a guy who was immensely good at doing starts, and he used to start in 8th place and end up winning, leading the race after the first lap if he was against other not brilliant drivers. So that's good, and then overtaking and defending against overtaking. So these are all unknown at the moment, so I'm waiting for my scout to sort of reveal those for me. He seems pretty good, but at this stage everyone's in the same boat. There's not a lot of really good drivers out there because they all need to be sort of trained up and generate experience over time. So as I said, it's season 1, so now's the time to join if anyone's looking to join. These are all the tracks. Obviously they're just drawings at the moment, but it gives you an idea of where we go each year. Notice that there's a few more than 10 tracks here. That's because each season they do change the tracks slightly. They mix it up. They have there's only 10 races in a season and there's 12 tracks here, so some races will become a race and some will be dropped from the calendar the next year. There's also other things. There's things like traction control and ABS and power steering that's available to be used or not used, if they're legal or not. So that's all in there. Yeah, so I mean, this is generally it. I'm quite excited. I know it doesn't look that much, but it really is. And the race comes up lap by lap. Obviously it's browser based, so it is all just looking at statistics. You don't see cars going around a track or anything like that. But there's so much going on here. If you do like Formula 1 and you like management games and you like the idea of having your own team and having to manage it, and you compete against real people here rather than a computer, because all other management games that I've ever played ultimately come down to one thing: getting the best driver and the best designer. And once you've got that, you create an awesome car and then you put a good driver in it and he wins the races. This game's it's similar in that you do need that, but there's so many other things going on. You've got tactics and stuff, and because you're playing human players, the amount of people that fuck up and make a mistake, and you can, oh man, it's just, you know, if you go to this and you know what you're doing, you learn things and you improve and you're developing your car. Each year is a development race against other teams, because you might improve your car, but because you're not playing a computer, you're playing a human who's also improving their car, and it's really good. I'm just so excited about it. So hopefully this just gets the word out there, gets more people who are interested in this sort of game giving this a go. But as I said, it really doesn't take much time. Once you've got everything set up and going on your team, all you need to do is just log in on Wednesday or Thursday, send your cars out for a little bit of testing, then at some point on Friday or Saturday send them out to qualify, and then make your strategy for the race, and then the rest all just happens automatically. Obviously developing the car and stuff like that, you're going to come in on a Monday or whenever you do it, and you say, right, blah blah blah, change this bit here, do this many designers, create this part, off you go, and then the next day you come back and you check on the progress. But I used to just do this over my breakfast in the morning, just do a little bit of fiddling, just change a little bit here and there, and then leave it and go back to it the next day. If I just have a look at Division 1. You can also be a Pitwall supporter in this game, and obviously that means you pay for the privilege of being a Pitwall supporter, and with that you get some benefits, but they're not vital to playing, i.e. there's no pay to win in this game, which is really good. I wouldn't play it if that was the case. All you do is you pay for some cool little features, like you can see these guys here, this chap's done it, and one of the main things is you can up your own livery for your car. I mean, that's really cool. I used to really enjoy in the old Pitwall creating a new livery each season for my car and uploading it. So otherwise you just have this generic one. You can choose your colour obviously, but having that, it's a nice little feature. So this is Division 1. This guy down here, Pinsu, I don't know whether that's the actual old manager of that team from the original Pitwall game, but Pinsu was one of the best teams in the old Pitwall, and he was always, well, that team was the team to beat. I've got a feeling though this guy's taken over that team and he's not the original guy who founded it, but either way, this is a new Pitwall now. Everything's changed, development's completely different, so it's anyone's game at the moment. No one knows exactly how it all works. But yeah, if you just go back to my division very quickly, because my old buddy Animal Racing has uploaded a nice livery for his car there. Just thought I'd show you that. Let's see if there's any others about. Hang on, let's see 2.1. Oh, there we go. We've got a nice sort of pattern there. That guy's changed the shape of his car. I don't think he's got around to colouring it in yet. But yeah, there's nice little features. Also with Pitwall, you don't get any adverts. Not that there's any adverts here at the moment, but you wouldn't get adverts if you're a Pitwall supporter and things like that. So anyway, I'm just doing a little bit of a review on this game. It's early days. We've just had the first race. I'm quite happy because I won it. Mainly down though for me going for the best engine supplier I could get hold of. I'm paying the bucks for MCR. 9 million a season. But as you can see, they're vastly superior to these ones. So I think that was mainly down to why I was doing that. So unless I can get some sponsors, I'm going to go bankrupt because I can't afford to pay the blooming things. But anyway, yeah, this is it. You've also got a Pitwall newspaper. You get all. This is your homepage. Team details. You have for founding your team, specialising in certain areas. There's a lot of things to look at. Sponsors are a little bit annoying because you've got to negotiate with them, and they. I lost out. They're going to have to change this soon because we're running out of sponsors. Obviously, the main sponsors, they're there, but they take a long time to negotiate with. It's the Section 2s. They're all signed up for next season already, so I couldn't really get. That's why I'm a bit behind on the money. But I'm sure Frank's going to sort that out because it's clearly a problem that needs to be addressed straight away. So don't let that phase you. At the end of the day, you can survive for a couple of weeks without any real income anyhow, unless you go mental and spend all your money, which only an idiot would do that, and then it's your own fault. But yeah, it's really good fun. If you do like management games and you fancy running your own racing team, there really aren't many games out there that are good that allow you to do that, which is why I'm glad this is back. So yeah, just give it a go if you do. It's free to play, completely free. You just sign up. You can only have one team though. You can't have loads of different teams. You have one team, that's all you're allowed. But it's good fun, and you make lots of friends. The community here that are here, there's a real good forum community. You ask people for help. Those that know will answer. I've asked for help already a few times, and I really knew the old game inside out. But this one is a bit different. So people are always happy to help and let you know. Obviously, they're not going to tell you the best way to do things because that's they probably don't know, and everyone has their own opinions. But also, that's for you to find out, my friend. That's for you to find out which way is the best way and which way works for you. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe. I'm going to be reviewing other games in the future, but if you do like management games, give this one a whirl. It's not much to look at, but trust me, the gameplay is good and you'll have a lot of fun. Cheers, bye bye.